YouTube family. How are you all doing? How are you all doing? Hope you're all doing great. Yes. Welcome to today's video. This is Victorious Mirabel. Here we talk about my faith in God, lifestyle, finances, other pertains to life, and godliness. Yes. Welcome to today's video. Yes. To all my returning subscribers, I want to say thank you. To the new ones, I want to say thank you. Yep. So today I'm going to be answering a question, and we're going to be continuing on our series on sinking funds. Somebody asked me a question, Mirabel, can I have a sinking fund when I'm already sinking in debt? Yes, that's the question I'm going to be addressing today. I know a lot of us are in debt, be it credit card debt, school loan, mortgage, car payment, and you're wondering, like, I'm already struggling. Can I still create a sinking fund? This is what I have to say. We realize that it's because of our lack of planning, our lack of budgeting, because we did not have sinking funds in the first place that plunged us into this debt. You get it? So we have to start doing things differently if we want to see a different result. Yes, for somebody who is in debt, I will say focusing on paying your debt, investing on paying your debt. Why do I call it investing? Because if you focus on paying your debt, then you're cutting down on the interest that the bank or the car company or the loaning company is charging you, thereby getting some extra income for yourself, which is almost like you are investing when you put in that effort in paying those debts. So coming to the question, will I say have a sinking fund, or will I say just concentrate on tackling those debts? My question is, why can't we have both of them? So this is what I will say. As much as you put in your effort in tackling those debts, still try to create little sinking funds. The reason I say this is so that you don't keep replunging yourself in debt. Remember, the lack of sinking fund, the lack of budget, the lack of planning was the reason that got you in this debt in the first place. So to come out of this debt, we have to work extra hard by working on repaying this debt or the loans and building this sinking fund so that we don't replunge ourselves, we don't live in cycles. An example, sinking fund for car insurance, sinking fund for birthday, Christmas, sinking fund for a wedding. These are events that we know that are certain to happen. Sinking fund for car repair. Your car needs maintenance. That is certain. Oil change. Maybe if you have an old car, it might break down. These are things that we know that can happen. So to take precautionary measures or to plan well for those things, you have a birthday party, you want to celebrate your son's birthday, you know when your son was born. Sinking fund are for those known big purchases or events that you save gradually. So I would say that as much as you concentrate on paying your debt, still create those sinking funds. They might not be big sinking funds, they could be small, because you are trying to channel your money in paying debt. Maybe you could decide this year, oh, I'm just going to get my son a $50 birthday gift without throwing a big party, because I'm on a financial journey to try to clear off the mess I did years ago, which is pursuing me and not allowing me grow in my financial journey. You might try to say, oh, this year for Christmas, I just want a small intimate family Christmas. I'm not inviting all my friends. I'm not buying gifts to everybody, because those are the same things that plunge you in maxing your credit card in the first place and leaving you now in debt. You are still paying a credit card debt you used to buy Christmas gift 3 years ago. That's one of the things I would say. But if you are still want to still live that big girl life, yes, maybe get a second job. And the second job will be maybe to pay off the loan or to put in your sinking fund accounts, or put into sinking funds, so that you are still living the life you want or getting the things you want, and not necessarily putting your hand into your credit card or into debt. Because if you don't build this sinking fund, the probability is that as much as you're paying the debt, when this event, when this need which are very certain to happen, when they happen, when it's time for you to pay your car insurance, or it's time for you to go for oil change or car maintenance, and if you don't have this money saved, what you're going to do is you're going to go back to that same credit card you're trying to pay and use it, which just keeps you in a circle of debt. So I will say that concentrate on paying your debt so that you are more in a free financial space where after paying your debt, you have all your money to yourself that you can plan and budget. The one other thing which is big is budget. Budget so that you can see where you can cut down on those unnecessary expenditures, so that the extra money you get when you budget, you can actually put it in your sinking fund. Yes, I know I mentioned getting a second job, but some of us, we don't really need second jobs, because it's not how much money you make, but how well you manage that money. I know people who have second jobs, but because they cannot manage their money well, they never have enough. They are always on credit. They are always borrowing, even with your second job. So sit down and look at your budget. Look at how much you have. How can you budget and maximize your budget so that you can still have extra for your sinking fund, and not necessarily getting a second job, but spending time with your family while paying those debts. So these are some of the tips I just want to put out there. It is possible for you to be sinking in debt and still have a sinking fund. Yes, the sinking fund is the tool that you will use to prevent you from keep drowning deeper in that debt. Best way I'll explain it. A sinking fund is simply the life jacket that you hold on to so that you don't sink deeper into debt as you are already drowning in debt. While trying to save yourself, while trying to survive from this debt, the sinking fund is the life jacket that will help you navigate through this debt. So that's what I have to say when it comes to you dealing with debt and trying to build a sinking fund. It is very important. Even an emergency fund, it is very important. You might not put much money in your emergency fund, but at least put something. You might not have a 3 to 6 year emergency fund saved, but start from somewhere. $1, $2. At least there is something somewhere for an emergency while you are trying to get yourself out of this debt that you have put yourself in. I will say it. Budget, look at your life. What are the things you did in the past that plunged you into this debt, and how can you undo them, unlearn them, and just focus on building a more stable financial life? Yes, let's remember, it will take hard work. It will take a lot of sacrifice. Yes, I always say it. When we eat all we have today, we are destroying our tomorrow. And that's what happens, that plunge people into debts because they were busy eating all they had, and even what they did not have. Like credit card is not your money. When you squander it, you are setting yourself up for failure, and you are just sinking yourself into financial issues. When you get to this point that you have realized still, and you want to work on your financial goal, and you want to just come out of this debt and just be more financially free, then there is a price to pay. There is that hard work to put in. There is that diligence, there's that determination, there's that discipline, there is that sacrifice you have to put in to be able to survive from this sinking ship of debt and just live a financially free life. I hope this video was helpful. Yes, if you are in debt and trying to build a sinking fund, leave in the comments down below what are you doing and what are you planning to do, so that I can also help somebody. Here, I said it before, we are here to uphold each other so that we can be all that which God has called us to be, even in our financial life. Love you all with the love of God. Remember, God loves you.